Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the GMAT. We have been solving GMAT math problems out of this book here, the GMAT review, the 13th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. The 13th edition official guide. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 153. Page 153, and today is our lesson number 9. Problem number 9. Today is our lesson number 9, and we're going to problem number 9. We are asked to find the value of a very nasty looking number. The square root of a cube root of this quantity. How many zeros? 4 zeros, 6 and a 4. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's first tackle this guy here. We're not going to try to figure out this cube root and the square root of the whole thing in one shot. Let's do step by step. Let's just focus on this guy. 0.000064. What we notice is that it is 6 decimal places. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is 6 decimal places before we move this decimal to the other side of 64. In other words, if we were to multiply this quantity by 10 raised to 6, 10 raised to 6 times this quantity will become 64, because 10 raised to 6 means we move the decimal places 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because it's times 6. Now we can't just multiply it by some number, because that will change the quantity that they're giving us, so we have to do something to undo it. So let's divide the whole thing by 10 raised to 6 also. So in essence we are multiplying this quantity by some number, and then we are dividing the result by the same number. So since we're multiplying it and dividing it by the same number, essentially we are multiplying this thing by 1, so it doesn't change anything. So the top becomes 64, and the bottom becomes 10 raised to 6. 10 raised to 6. That makes it very easy. That makes it more manageable. Now we can figure out the cube root of it. How much is what is the cube root of 64? Cube root of 64 and the cube root of 10 raised to 6. The cube root of 64, what number multiplied by itself and then again by itself is going to give us 64? Well, that's 4. 4 times 4 is 16. And 16 times 4 is 64. So this top part is 4. What about the bottom part? The cube root of 10 raised to 6 is same as 10 raised to 6 raised to 1/3. That's what cube root means. And we know that when it's like this, we have to multiply the exponents. So it becomes 10 raised to 6 times 1/3, and 3 cancels out with 6 and becomes 10 raised to 2. That's what we end up in the bottom. And of course 10 raised to 2 we know is 100. So that takes care of that part. We don't need any of this thing. Or perhaps I can do it here. Now that we have the cube root of the quantity, now we can take the outside part right here. Now we can worry about the outside part. This part right here. So now all we have to do is take the square root of that quantity, that's it. And of course the square root of 10 raised to 100 is simply 2 over 10, which is 1/5, which is 0.2, which is, how are they giving us? The decimal, fractions? How are they giving the answers? That's it, 0.2, answer is E. That's all there is. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. One more time, as soon as I find my cap, I'm going to explain it very quickly one more time as to what we did here. But the first thing we did is to realize that this quantity that they're giving us is very nasty looking. Let's figure out all by itself what that is. So we found out that decimal is here. We have to move it 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The decimal will end up here if we were to multiply this quantity by 10 raised to 6. But since we multiply the top by 10 raised to 6, we have to divide it by 10 raised to 6 to undo it. So this boils down to 64 over 10 raised to 6. Then we take a cube root of it, which is very easy. Cube root of 64 is 4. cube root of 10 raised to 6 is 10 raised to 2. Right here, we did the work here. Cube root of 10 raised to 6 is 10 raised to 6 raised to 1/3, which is 10 raised to 2, which is 100. So that's it. And now we can take the square root of it. That's what it is. So essentially what we did is, after we figured out that it is 10 raised to 4, we took the square root of this thing, which means we took a square root of this thing, and which means we took a square root of that thing, which boils down to that thing. That's all. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.